Rhodri.
Is there anything that Lionel Messi is better than you at?
It's opinions. I respect your opinions. Maybe in your opinion Messi is better than me, but in my mind I'm better than him.
I do it again.
Add it up, bankroll, euro, peso, add it up. I'm just doing me, everything is on me, oh you matter what. Add it up, bankroll, euro, peso, add it up. I'm just doing me, everything is on me, oh you matter what. Told her if it's all me, everything is on me, gon' back it up. Matter what. Told you I'ma do me, why you hating on me, it's not adding up. I do roll like a Mack truck, country heart, I might cop a farm and go act up. Like scars, I was cold-hearted, now I'm back up. Keep it real, I do this once a month, I don't rap much. I just hit the money and go stack up. Only buy car cards, so you can tat it up. All that other bull, it don't matter much. You only climb me, I put the ladders up. No fault, I done doubled up on the workload. I think I fell in love with the bankroll. Pray up, get money, then we lay low. Add it up, bankroll, euro, peso, add it up. I'm just doing me, everything is on me, oh you matter what. Add it up,
Yes, guys, I'm Si. Welcome to Ace Podcast Nation. Welcome to Rhodri Giggs on football. We are talking all things football as we jump around the various different stories around the beautiful game this week. Just as we wait for a few latecomers, as always, we'll just do a little update on the Charity Super Six and Fantasy League, and just catch you all up on the battle between me and Rhodri and how everyone's doing. So the Charity League updates. In the Fantasy League this week, James Breen, the highest scorer with 84 points, but Ollie Rushworth, an ex-Cardiff City legend, Colin Griffith, top of the league, myself and Rhodri, basically absolutely rubbish at the Fantasy League stuff, and 44.
I got 70 points, that's not bad.
Well, you're 44th and I'm 47th.
Yeah, but I've had a bad start. I told you what I did at the first two games, so you should stick 80 points on there because that's what I took off myself.
It's unfortunate, but
No,
I haven't got a virus small enough.
Fuck you. So
in the Super Six, we've had 2 rounds since last week's show, and it's all about the ex-Cardiff City players. Lee Jarman came up top Saturday, and Gavin Gordon top last night. Rhodri has scored a whopping 102 points this year, and I've got a slight lead with 111. Which is unlucky for some. So could that be the downfall of me?
I beat you yesterday. I got more than you.
It just goes to show that, class is permanent, mates, and I'm still ahead.
It's just gradual now. It's just it.
Yeah. Next round, Saturday, 3 o'clock. We'll do our predictions at the end of the show. But let's spoil Rhodri's night first by talking Manchester United. Of course, if you don't know already, this is ex-Salford City, Aberystwyth Town, Bangor City. I forgot them again. Always forget that one team. That's it. And what's the other one? Salford City, FC United. All over the place. Mr. Rhodri Giggs, you good, mate?
Yeah, I'm good, mate, yeah.
Where do you want to start?
Wherever you want to start.
I want to start at Man United, mate, because I've got if you remember, I don't know if you remember because you're getting old and your memory's a bit short. But I said it might have been in the summer or like in the pre-season. It was fairly recent. I said at some point, a football club, and I think I used United as an excuse, right? But I said at some point, a big club has got to back the manager over the players who constantly are shit, because it's just the same cycle, right? So, I think we all probably agree now that history and time tells us that Ten Hag is on very thin ice at the moment. But it's these players, they fail, and it's the same cycle. They fail, new manager, they have a little bump, they do all right for a season or two, then they don't get their own way, and then it's just the same cycle over and over again. to me, Ten Hag is halfway through getting rid of the players who they're trying to get rid of for the last few years. Ralph Rangnick said the club needed open heart surgery from top to bottom, and until they get rid of those people, they will never move on. So, to me, the solution is you go into the changing room and you say to every single player in the first team squad, the 23s, whatever, you say, this manager is here to stay. So you either ship up and fucking play for the badge or go. Get on the blower to your agent and go in January or go in the summer, because this manager's staying. This is our guy. And because otherwise it's just the same cycle of bullshit, mate. And I'm not even a United fan. And it frustrates me because I look at the attitude of him and it's schoolboy stuff. And I don't agree with Gary Neville very much at the moment. I think he's got a real vendetta. He's got a real problem with Bruno Fernandes. And look, I don't think he's beyond criticism. But it all started last year in that Liverpool game when he said he asked to come off and he didn't, and he never apologised, and he kind of singles him out a lot. But like, even, Bruno's not above criticism. I think the only one who is not above criticism in the last, 2 games, the derby and last night, is the keeper. I thought he was very good in both games. He did as much as he could in both games. Apart from that, I think you could probably find fault in most players' performances. But there maybe one or two of them at least had the right attitude. But to me, they've got to stick with the manager. If they sack Ten Hag, whether it's in the next couple of weeks or this season or in the summer, it's just the same bullshit cycle over and over again. And until they back a manager over these players who constantly chuck these managers under the bus, nothing will ever change. And I know there's other stuff off the pitch which needs to be sorted. I get all that. But like, just talking football manager, in and out, that's what I think they've got to do. What do you feel about him, mate? Like, he's on thin ice now, isn't he? There's no way around it.
Yeah. But I still think they'll stick with him for a bit, for a number of reasons. He has spent a lot of money. That's what's probably why he's on thin ice at the minute. His signings of late have been poor. Mason Mount has not contributed one bit. Anthony, one trick pony. It's just not good. It's just the manner of the manner of defeat, and when I look at it, and I think, because I've watched United a long time now, so I look at it and think, what are they even trying to do?
Yeah,
how are they trying to play? Because it's pretty boring, or they're just a counter-attacking team with pace, a been £800 million running team, track team. So, but there's so many things wrong, and you look at these players, and I've seen some players in the past, and some of these just don't cut it. But
so let me ask you a question about that, mate.
There's a lot of money there. There's some good players there, but there's some bad ones as well.
If you look at the signings, I agree with you. He has spent a lot of money, but you look at he wanted Frankie de Jong. He ended up with Mason Mount, an aging Casemiro, Amrabat on loan. He wanted Anthony when Anthony was. Ajax had priced him at 35 million. United fucked about and then had to go back cap in hand and pay 100 million euros. That's not the manager's fault. That's the people off the pitch.
Well, that's why I'm saying there's a number of reasons.
And then you have got the injuries.
First of all, it starts at the top. We all know that. But you can't blame someone not running or not, looking. It's just. But it starts to talk. That's why I said there's so many things that are wrong, because the recruitment, it's shocking.
It's been shocking since Fergie left, hasn't it? When you look at it.
I was speaking this to a mate the other day. It's been shocking, but you'll still get the support. But the frustrations will be shown, and they'll be heard as well. So, and there'll be nowhere to hide. So, we've got kind fixtures. I'd say. Away from home, Fulham away, which will be difficult. Copenhagen away, and then we got Luton at home, and then we got 2 or 3 other away games on the bounce. So being away from Old Trafford for a bit might not be a bad thing. So, but yeah, up against it because they just look poor. Rashford just needs to be left out. Just leave him out for a bit because when Garnacho come on last night, he looked like the only one that was half decent.
I thought
there's so many things. I'm just tired of.
Let me just ask you a quick question, mate. Right, separate from the current thing. Since Fergie left, see if you can name me sign-ins which have come in and improved, like become better players at United.
The only person I can think of is Fernandes. That's it. It's the only person that's come in and made the team better.
But even just individually got better, like, or gone on and kicked on. Like,
no, I
can't think of any really. And that is a shocking. Maybe you could say Martinez, but he's only been there short time.
That goes back to recruitment. It's been poor. They've been getting players that are overaged, overpriced, instead of doing proper scouting and doing proper recruitment and doing the proper homework instead of just doing it on the fly because you're in panic mode. And now you've got to pay over the odd prices when there's if they would have listened to say a Ralph Ragnick, they would have had Alvarez for basement price. They would have had 3 or 4 players. Haaland. They'd have had a few players for a decent price.
Yeah, it's shocking, mate. And like, to me, like, where'd you go from here? Like, because he seems to trust whenever they have a bad result or whenever he's had a bad result, like I'll use the Liverpool game last year as an example, everyone thought he was going to like tear up the team, and he doesn't. He normally puts out a similar 11 to the one that's played badly to give them the opportunity to, to try and make it right, if you like. But to me, I don't like Rashford. I agree. Rashford should just not be playing at the moment. Bruno's kind of on the brink of that. And I look at it and I thought,
well, Bruno's been played out of position, stuff like that.
Yeah, I accept that.
He plays in his right position. We've seen when he plays his right position what he can do, but if you're putting him all over the show, he's just getting frustrated. It's just not helping the team. It doesn't make sense. I don't understand this manager's so good. Mate, just put Rashford on the right and Nancy on the left and see how that goes. Let's get people taking him on and get some crosses in. Because at the minute, they look crap. All they look like doing is coming inside, and it's just not working. So why don't you try and get them down the outside and whip some crosses in, like we've seen at United over the years? Can you not do that? They don't even do that. Just keeps the same old. I don't even know what they're trying to do. I don't know what they're trying to do. It's terrible. They're not even creating chances. It's just poor. Just passing midfield, defense, sidestep, cross. It's just so predictable, and they spent a lot of money. But I'll go back to the recruitment. It's been poor. You saw how you keep bringing these managers in, taking these managers out. It's just going to be rinse and repeat. And I don't think they can do it because I don't think they've got the money to do it.
Yeah, and like I said earlier, mate, it's just like you just said there. It's just rinse and repeat. To me now, for that Fulham game, mate, if it was me, and it's not obviously, but if it was me, I would go Onana to start. I'd go Wan-Bissaka. I thought he looked pretty good on the right. I'd go with probably Reguilon on the left because I thought Dalot was quite poor yesterday. He probably needs a break, in fairness to Dalot, because he's played where everyone else has been missing. He's had to just go and play whatever, hasn't he? And then I play Varane and Maguire, say. And then in the midfield, though, mate, I would put, even though he didn't have his best game last night, I'd have Hannibal in there, I'd have Amrabat in there, and I'd try and get Kobe Mainoo in there as well. And I'd try and freshen it up. Yeah, I probably...
You're going to not play your captain, mate. Come on.
No, yeah. So, all right, maybe I take Hannibal out because I do think when Kobe Mainoo's fit, the manager
He's
likes
not
him.
fit, so it's a realistic team. You need a realistic team, don't you?
Sorry, so we'll go Hannibal then until Maino's back. But what I'm saying is I would try and freshen it up completely. So I'd go with Garnacho again. I wouldn't play Anthony. I'd actually play Mount off the right, I would, because I think he's got the potential to put some decent crosses in, whereas Anthony doesn't, and he doesn't want to play Garnacho on the right, which we discussed last week is just a weird thing. But like, I actually didn't think there was points in the first half, just after Newcastle went 1-0 up. I actually thought Mason Mount did all right. He actually was trying to do something. Like he was trying to create something and trying to win tackles, which other players weren't. But then second half, he had that one good shot in the first half, which the keeper saved. And then second half, he was poor again. And it's just like, I agree with you. It's very difficult to see what Ten Hag is trying to do. Whereas last year, it felt like he was ultimately going towards playing like that Ajax style of the kind of pressing and counter pressing and playing quite good possession football, but then transitioning very quickly into sort of wide areas and stuff like that. But this year, it doesn't feel like that. And he said the other day that we cannot play like I did at Ajax because the players are not capable of it. And it's like, well, hang on a minute. These are international footballers, whether they're in form or out form or whatever. They all are internationals. So surely they are capable of playing that way. And if they're not capable of playing that way, then that is an issue for the recruitment again. Because why haven't you brought in players to play the way the manager wants to play? It's crazy to me, mate. Honestly, but you know what's mad to me, right? Is Arsenal got spanked last night. Yeah, you got TalkSport posted something like 23 videos today. Since the end of the game last night, they've posted 23 videos, basically implying that Ten Hag should be sacked. Arsenal got spanked and out, nothing. Newcastle, I think, are 2 points ahead of United in the league. And I get Newcastle are playing better, the rest of it. But like, it's very much like, it doesn't feel like Ten Hag is like a media favourite. Like it feels like people can't wait for him to lose
Dutch
again.
people never have, mate, have they? They had that kind of arrogance about them, don't they?
Yeah, they rub people up the wrong way a little bit, I think, don't they?
Yeah, he might do, but I think he's been all right.
I think he is what you need.
He needs to get better. He needs to get better. So because the only last couple of weeks I've been thinking, wait a minute, what are you doing here? Yeah. What's going on? What's these subs you're making? What are you doing? Because last year subs were spot on, the right time, the right ones, and they were paying off. Yeah,
last year he had like at one point in the season last year, towards the end, like the middle to the end of the season, the stats were saying that United were the most effective.
Yeah,
exactly. The substitutes were effective in games.
I remember that stat coming up and seeing it, but yeah, this year is like, what are you doing?
Yeah, it's a weird one. But to me, mate, I think like Theo has just said there in the chat, like last season's triumphs, getting to the FA Cup final and winning the League Cup final, I think they papered over the cracks and they masked the problems. And I think if they had just finished top four, everyone would have said, "Oh, decent start," and he would have had more patience this year. But because they won a trophy and they got top four, first manager to do that since Fergie, both at the same time in his first season, everyone expected him to kick on. And of course, you're looking to progress each season. But I think anyone who knows a bit about football, who's not biased towards it, would kind of understand that there's bigger problems. And you could see as soon as they weren't able to get rid of some of the players, like he's got players there he doesn't want, which is always a problem, no matter what club you are. If there's players in the squad which the manager doesn't want, and he hasn't got the players he wanted, it creates a very difficult atmosphere, doesn't it?
Yeah, totally. It's just, yeah.
Little word on Newcastle. What did you feel like? What did you think of their performance? Was it United are terrible and Newcastle just made the most of it, or did Newcastle's?
No, you got to give credit to Newcastle. When you make so many changes like that, it's difficult. So to play so well and get a good result, yeah, it's going well from the minute. That's what you want as a manager. You give your players something to think about to play on the Saturday, and that's what they've done. And that's all you can ask. And if you're not playing on a Saturday, you can knock on the door to the manager, and then you can have a conversation with him. But all you can do is perform, and that's what they did. So you can't knock them. It's nothing. You can't. Yes, United were poor, but still Newcastle were very good, and we got the result they needed.
Yeah, and I think the other thing with that as well is like, Newcastle have got to, make do without their big signing in Tonali now when this ban starts or whenever it kicks in and stuff. So like some of those players last night were playing for a chance in the first team, so that helps. But why do Eddie Howe's Newcastle, or you could say Brighton's De Zerbi's Brighton, or whoever, why do these teams, they look coached, they look like they know what the team is supposed to be doing, who's playing what's your job? Like United just don't seem to have that cohesion. And it's weird.
There's so many players out and injured, and I don't think he knows. If you asked him now, I don't think he knows his strongest team. Probably hasn't got his strongest team because Luke Shaw's out. There's a couple other players out. Yes, the few have come back. Wan-Bissaka seems to come back, but these are not. It's not Gary Neville coming back.
Yeah, I thought Wan-Bissaka actually did all right, but like you say, it's not. Like I got to say, I think it shows how important Luke Shaw is to United. I think he's quite important to the way Ten Hag plays, and I think they are missing him massively.
Well, the modern game, your fullbacks are key. And yeah, they haven't been good for a while at Old Trafford, fullbacks, for a while.
Yeah, it feels like if you go out with or past the first choice, you're struggling a bit, which makes it weird that they let that youngster go out on loan.
You'd always have like Phil Neville or John O'Shea that come in and won't be the best, but they'd still perform and do well and get down the line and get some crosses in. And that was the second team of fullbacks. These ones are poor.
That's an interesting point from Theo again. Now he says they've got better structure. They've got a better scouting structure at Brighton and Newcastle. Probably not as many idiots at the time like United and Chelsea. They also spend wisely and recruit well at both Brighton and Newcastle. And
I've said that about recruitment. Scouting is spot on. The scouting, I don't know what's going on at Old Trafford, but the scouting is just shocking. And I mean shocking. The players that they brought in, I was naming them before: Fellaini, Falcao, Di Maria, Sanchez. The list goes on and on. Schweinsteiger, Schneiderlin. Oh my God, it just goes on and on. So many signings. They're just wasted money, just on bad signings.
Manchester derby then quickly. Like obviously Manchester City, outplayed United in pretty much every way. Although United had chances.
5 minutes though.
They were good for 5 minutes. Yeah, good for 5 minutes.
Yeah, there you go.
But they did have chances, mate. Højlund had that chance.
That's different. You've got to take them chances. Confidence, bit of confidence. The mood changes. Crowd gets up. You don't take them chances. That's what happens. You only get one or two in games like that. You've got to take them.
Rude. What did you think of the penalty?
What?
Yes, he would have. What did you think of the penalty? Was it a penalty? Was it soft? Was it somewhere in between?
Mate, you give 5 of them a game.
Yeah, it's a weird one, isn't it? Like if you give him
the Rhodri's bought it. He's just bought it. That's arms in the air. That's probably screamed as well. Vamos! Spanish. Something daft like that.
Mm-hmm. And he chased the referee afterwards, and I think that's how he influenced him.
Give it all that to probably.
Yeah. So by the time the ref's gone to look at the image, he already has got in his head that the player feels hard done by, and he can't believe he hasn't seen it.
Shouldn't go into it, or should it? Did he
No, he shouldn't.
Yes, he did. But like I said, was five a game if they really looked in closely. People pulling shirts or whatever, but it seemed to let them go. There was another one that was worse in the second half, and they didn't even look at it.
Maguire, I think it was.
It was one that was worse. They didn't even look at it. So it's just a lot of bollocks.
Yeah, VAR.
It's no consistency again. Michael Oliver, one of our best. Pathetic.
What did you make of City? Because they've been not great in recent weeks.
They never are. You don't win the league in October, November, March, April. That's when you see where we're at, and it's always been the case. Just after Easter. Easter's early this month, so early April, and we'll see where we're at. But and that's when they seem to get going. But they're still purring all right now at the minute. It looks all okay to me, and they've got De Bruyne to come back, so it'll be all right.
Yeah, they're very, very. I thought I was very impressed with them. So, obviously, you had the EFL Cup last night. West Ham beat Arsenal 3-1. Great result for West Ham. They were 3-0 up. I'm assuming I'm going to just have a look at the teams. West Ham looked like they played quite a strong side because Kudos and Bowen scored. So look. So yeah. Oh, West Ham rested.
It was an own goal, Bowen, and I watched the.
They rested Ward Prowse until the 82nd minute. Arsenal played. Yeah, they both played like a mix of first choice and rotated a few in. But should Arsenal be doing better they binned off a couple of the cups last year in the pursuit of the league.
The Premier League, and make a few changes. You're at London Stadium, so it's a London derby. West Ham are no mugs whatsoever. They won a European trophy last year. It could happen. Arsenal weren't at it. West Ham were. They took the chances. It's as simple as that. Arsenal got a big game, Newcastle. Speak to us next week when they play Newcastle and see how they've gone there, see how they react after that. Because there needs to be a reaction. The usually after a defeat and tough game, St James's Park.
Yeah, Newcastle will be confident as well, so that'd be an interesting one. What was the other game I was looking at? Everton.
Go for a boring sit on the fence, score draw for that one.
Newcastle and Arsenal. No, yeah, Newcastle winning that, mate.
Yeah, you'll go for a boring score draw, sit on the fence side. Go
on. Newcastle smash them. Burnley still struggling. Out of the cup as well. At what point, mate, does Company abandon his philosophies?
He did the same. He did rested a few as well. So it's one of them things, isn't it? It's still the fourth round. Still, I know they've only won 2 games because it's the fourth round. But it's the quarterfinals next. So in the semi-final, you could be playing Port Vale or Middlesbrough in the semi-final. Yeah. Happy days.
Yeah. Exactly that, mate. With Burnley, mate, right? They still only won 1 game. They're nestled just above Sheffield United in the league. Do you think at any point Company will kind of abandon his passing philosophy?
No, you've already asked me. We went through this last week.
I know, but I just think he's got to do it to stay up.
We might tweak it, but why would you go away from your philosophy? You stick with it. Things might turn. You stick with it. Don't give in a whole body of work or a whole season unless, I'm
not saying necessarily bin it off completely, but I just think, being a bit more defensively minded and a bit more structured.
Possibly, but he's learning on the fly as well. He's only been a manager, 3 years?
Yeah, true. He's they got Palace at home on Saturday, which
that's massively experienced. So yes, these home games, mate, they need to start picking up these home wins against the teams like Crystal Palace. If they don't, it's going to be a long season for them, and they won't survive. But the home games, Burnley, Turf Moor, starting to get cold now. It's frigging freezing up there. I mean, freezing like northeast freezing. Burnley. It's up near Yorkshire, Banner, isn't it? Even though it's still in Lancashire, it's a cold place. So
Not a nice place to go.
yeah, it's still, even though it's still a lovely pitch, it's still like one of them old grounds. They get hostile there, so they should be picking up home wins there. If they're not, then like I say, they won't survive.
Tottenham, mate, still kicking on. Good win away at Palace. That's a good win. I think Palace is a difficult place to go these days.
Won comfortably as well. Won comfortably as well.
Yeah, I think it's weird because I saw an interview with James Maddison, and he said in pre-season they had played really badly in the first half, and the manager went absolutely ballistic at them and said that is why everyone, or this is what previous Spurs team, this is like Spursy basically, and he has kind of gone off on the players. And James Maddison had, I paraphrase him, but basically said that sort of woke them all up, that they wanted to be different. And it's interesting because I know Reese, who's not in the chat today, but he normally is, he said he was a big guy at the start of the season saying Postecoglou will do well for him. Like, it's early doors, isn't it? There's only 10 games gone.
Yeah, he surprised me because I was like, coming from Scotland, I clearly had done my own work with him, and looking into it, plays a good brand of football. He's on the front foot. Doesn't play that boring football that the Spurs fans have been watching the last few years, or defensive football. And I was totally wrong about him. And the start of that he's fantastic. So he looks like he's got a really good CV. Always wants things where he's been. So yeah, it's they seem to have a good one there. Just hopefully they can sustain it. And then it would have been mad if they won the league without Harry Kane. And Bayern Munich didn't win anything.
It would be insane, wouldn't it? Do you know? Let me ask you a quick question just on United, right? So Postecoglou's come in. He's played like 10 league games and a couple of pre-season friendlies, and he's got his team. He signed a few players. He didn't sign loads, but he signed a couple. And he's got them playing not only exciting football, but they're scoring goals, they're winning games, etc. Right? He's done that very quickly. But if you look at United since Fergie left, apart from Solskjaer, every single manager has played quite possession-based, turgid, like not exciting football. And it's taken Ten Hag a long time to try and do whatever he's trying to do. So why is it that at other clubs, the managers are able to come in, sign one or two, not just win, but win in a certain way? It can't possibly just be the size of the club and the pressure on it. Surely it's the players. It's got to be, isn't it?
Like I said, touched on it, mate. It's a number of things. They've had a lot of injuries this early season. They had like 11 players out 2 weeks ago.
At one point, there was 16 out, wasn't there? So even last year, they weren't like, when they were good, they weren't like sweeping sides.
But there was improvement, though, wasn't there?
Yeah.
This year, they seem to have gone backwards. But that's, I think, because he hasn't had a full squad to pick from, and confidence low, and the players aren't performing, aren't working at the rate that they should be if they're wearing a Manchester United shirt. I'm tired of fucking talking about it.
I know you are.
That's all week sitting and last night.
Let's talk about a championship, mate, because the championship's fun and it's good.
Let's talk about Leeds United getting smashed tomorrow off Leicester. Please, God.
I think it could happen, mate. I think there's a very, very good chance that happens. But I think it could be quite a high-scoring game, actually. Like, Leeds have got goals in away from home.
6-0 to Leicester.
Leicester have been very, very good this year.
That pleased me very much.
They've only lost one all season, so...
Who, Leicester?
Yeah, they've only conceded 8 goals.
Lost loads, haven't they? Shite.
Leeds have lost 3. They've conceded 15 goals, though, Leeds have, whereas Leicester
like scoring a few goals, don't they?
Yeah, Leicester have only conceded 8 and scored 29.
Come on, the Foxes.
Yeah, I think there's a good chance.
That one tomorrow.
5-2 Leicester, maybe.
Great relish.
put the Bluebirds up in the playoffs. What do we like to see? It's taking shape a bit in the Championship. 14 games gone. Obviously, there is there's a long way.
Are you happy with the start, or you think it's better than you thought?
For Cardiff, it's better than I thought. And I've been to a few games with my boy, and like what I like about it is every player knows their role. Even if he changes the team or he brings people on, they know what they're doing, and they're doing it well. But I haven't seen a Cardiff City team since Dave Jones was the manager be as comfortable as they are on the ball. Like I think I said to you after the Swansea game, it was so weird watching Cardiff like just pinging about and moving off the ball and that. But they do that most games, and I think it's helping them away from home that they're able or they're comfortable on the ball. So they're, like when in the Sunderland game, they absorbed a lot of pressure without conceding a load of chances. And then they hit Sunderland on the break towards the end of the game. And it should have been about 2 or 3-0 in the end because Cardiff missed 2 clear-cut chances, but they still won 1-0. And I think at the start of the season, I said, if Cardiff can finish top 12 this year, top half this year, that gives him a good basis then to move next year, try and get in the playoffs. And then if it doesn't come off, the year after, really kick on and try and, get further. But at the moment, I've watched every game apart from, I think, one. I've been impressed with the manager tactically. And I think they've got money to spend in January as well. So I think they need a striker who could bag them 10 to 15 between January and the end of the season, really. And I think Kiefer Moore is still not playing for Bournemouth.
What's happened to him?
So there was basically a deal in place to bring him in, I think, on loan at the end of the summer window. But the striker who was coming from Millwall, maybe, or someone else in the Championship was going to Bournemouth to be his replacement. That deal fell through. And then
we get him in January, then, yeah.
I think they will, but obviously we'll see because I know
he wants to come as well. It's half the battle if he wants to come because he can push it through.
Yeah, well, apparently, and this is this is like allegedly in it, but like apparently he contacted Cardiff to ask to come back, so that's a good sign. Yeah. And look, him and Aaron Ramsey play. Ramsey plays just behind him for Wales.
Yeah.
I think it's a great fit at the moment because we know he can score goals in the Championship. He'll work and he'll do the things. And the one thing we're lacking is a goal scorer. And I think he could be the missing piece, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
But look, mate, if we finish 8th at the end of this year, I'll be happy with that because the last 2-3 years we've been battling relegation. So the manager is still building the team. He's only been there a few months. So, but, we're 6th and we deserve to be 6th and we're playing good football. Did you see Ruben Corwell's goal on Saturday?
No, I missed it.
Oof. You should seek it out, mate. It's floating about on social media. It's 1-0 against Bristol. It's about 5. I think it's injury time. And they think he's going to take it into the corner on the left. Two players are like on him, and he does like a step over and sort of flicks it in between the two of them, and then just goes into the box and just smashes it into the roof of the net. Very good young Welsh player who needs to play football because he's very talented, but he's got to play to realise his potential. You can't do that. Like you imagine if your brother had played 10 minutes here and there till he was 21, 22, would he have had the impact that he did? I don't know. You got to play games, haven't you, to progress? Play against men and
you got to see how good they do. First of all, they'll know that by the way he trains with the men. So, and then obviously if he's excelling there, then you just stick him in and sink or swim, mate. Sink or swim.
100%, mate. Theo said, not sure if it's been spoken about last week, but do you both think that Rooney's a good fit for Birmingham, or did the owners just want a big name? It feels like when they appointed Zola all over again.
Yeah, the latter, Phil. The latter.
Yeah, we kind of touched on it, didn't we? Like, he's having a nightmare of a time, in fairness to him. They've lost 3 on the bounce. I'm not even sure. They scored a goal on Saturday.
Great.
There we go. But they just look like...
Still got beat 3-1.
Yeah, did you see the... have you seen the highlights of that game? Did you see the penalty which wasn't given against the Southampton keeper? So... flattens him. What I didn't realise...
Going on about it. It was a Stonewall pen, that shocker.
Right. But he flattens him. I didn't realise. Apparently, the striker got booked for diving.
Piss off.
That's what someone said, like in the comments of one of the posts. I was like, that cannot be true.
Oh, Birmingham play Ipswich as well. They're top, aren't they?
Oh, mate. Ipswich, out of all the games Cardiff have played this year, Ipswich have impressed me the most, mate. Honestly,
Really?
they were really, really good. But he got, what's his head, who used to be Solskjaer's coach.
Could do
What's his name? What's his name? Kieran McKenna.
We got Stoke.
Yeah, Ipswich been superb, mate. I was really very, very impressed.
Leeds get beat, we go above them, don't we? That's what I'll do with that.
Yes, we do. Go on.
Go
Have
on,
a bit of that. Right, let's do some predictions, mate, is it?
Yeah, go on then.
Go on. We'll start with the mighty Bluebirds away at Stoke City. That's a tough one. Stoke had a good result the other day.
2-1 Cardiff.
2-1 Cardiff. I'm going to go with... I'm going to go with 1-0, 2-1.
Windy there Saturday.
It's going to be a very tough game, mate. If you offered me a draw now, I'd probably take it.
Okay.
But Cardiff have got a knack at the moment of just finding a performance and a result. So I wouldn't be surprised to see us get something out of it whatsoever. What do you reckon Leicester Leeds then, mate? Take your hatred off. Look at it.
Leicester Leeds. 4-1 Leicester.
Yeah, I got a feeling. 3-0 Leicester, I'm going to go for. And
either one would please me very much.
I think actually I got a feeling it might end up being like 5-2 or something to Leicester. Just think Leeds might score, but they won't be able to keep a clean sheet.
They can have a consolation goal. It's no problem to me.
Yeah, that's it. Right. So we've got Man City at home to Bournemouth. Bournemouth
4-0.
doing all right. 4-0 to Bournemouth. Wow.
No. No, 5-0 Manchester City.
Interesting. I'm going to go with 4-1 to Manchester City there. And then next up, we got Everton at home to Brighton. Everton have finally found a bit of form, mate.
2-1
3 on the bench.
2-1 Brighton.
2-1 Brighton. I'm going to go with 2-1 to Everton. Brentford at home to West Ham. Oof. Both in a bit of form. I'm going to go 1-0 Brentford. It's a tough one.
1-0 West Ham.
Newcastle home to Arsenal. 3-1 Newcastle.
Arsenal 2-0.
God, I tell you what, one of us is going to do well this week. One of us ain't. Forest at home to Villa.
4-2 the Villa.
Ooh, interesting. I'm going to go with a 1-1 draw there.
No.
First score draw of the game. Luton at home to the Scousers. Is there any way that Luton can get anything from that game?
No. 3-1.
I'm going to go with 3-0 to Liverpool there. I would love nothing more than a 1-0 Luton win, but I just don't see it. And the other thing as well, Liverpool seem quite galvanised. Obviously, shout out to Luis Diaz as well, who's going through some fucking awful shit, with his father or his parents being kidnapped or something.
Right, his mum and dad got kidnapped, but his mum got found. There was a shootout, and his mum got away or something, but his dad's still missing. Yeah.
Horrific, mate. Horrific. Not something you want to be seeing anyone have to deal with.
Hopefully you find him very, very quickly.
Right, mate. So, how's your coaching career going at the moment? Then, how are you still coaching with them?
Yeah, it's all right. Yeah.
How are they doing? Because they were
Who?
doing all right, weren't they?
Who? Young Guns.
No, the men.
Oh yeah. I've stopped doing that now.
They're doing all right, though. They were, weren't they? They were like
Picked up now. Yeah. Picked up now. I left. Nah, they've got. Mate, I've never known a team like it. Like so many players.
Weren't they fighting each other in the changing room or something?
That was last year.
No, it's okay.
But this year, yeah, there's so many players. Even the manager and the coach was away at the same time while the season's going on. There's so many players, but now they're all back. They'll do all right. Cause they're paying good money as well, so they should be really.
Question from Gaz: if if Rooney fails at Birmingham and he can't turn it around, is that
back to the USA for Wazza?
Is that it for him in the UK as a manager? He'd have to go somewhere.
No, he'll get somewhere else, but no, it'll probably be a championship side that are in trouble.
I think
it might be just a token guy. It's been Wayne Rooney and perk the fans up. One of them might become one of them managers, and that's the last thing you want.
Salford City won a game of football last night. Did you see that? Against Manchester United under-21s.
All right, they're playing these kids, mate. Come on.
21s, come on, they're grown men.
Just because it's under-21s doesn't mean like 20, 19. They're all like 17, 16, 18. Right?
Well, it's in that EFL trophy in it, so I'm assuming that it is literally the kids rather than it's not Kobe. It's not Kobe Mainu and whoever else.
No.
Just having a quick look at the side, looks like it had Hannibal's brother in it. Mainu did play, and Gore. Mainu, Gore, Hugo, Tom Huddleston played for 5 minutes. That's quite mad to me. Short hire. So some of the big names played. That Hanson Aaron didn't play. He was on the bench but didn't get used.
I'll reiterate, they're still 18, 17.
Yeah, of course they are. Yeah. But it's good experience for him. I do agree that
that's what that's for, mate. That's what that cup's for. It's good experience for him, yeah. Totally agree.
It was 4-3 to Salford as well.
Academy football, anyway.
Yeah, well, this is the problem, isn't it? Is that the academy football and the under 23s league is not as competitive as what the Pontins Reserve League used to be back in the day, which prepared players and helped players get fit when they were coming back from injury.
A League, B League, Reserve League, first team. Now it's just gone apart.
23s, shite in it.
But we don't.
What's the UFC this weekend, mates?
UFC, no UFC this week, is there?
I don't know, mate.
Not this week.
Is it this week or the week after?
I've been seeing it on my feed. There's Joe Cordina.
Joe Cordina fights Saturday, that's right, yeah. Good.
How does the Cardiff boy not know Joe Cordina's fighting?
Oh, I knew it. I'm putting on an event tomorrow, mate. I got a busy week. I knew he was fighting.
It's Monaco, isn't it? 300 spectators, so big crowd.
What's he doing? Is it where is it? Joe Cordina. Where is it? It's abroad, isn't it? In America.
It's in Monaco.
This one?
It's in Monaco.
Beautiful.
300 spectators, if you'd listened. Prince Albert. Prince Albert, all in tuxedos. It's quite a weird event, and it's different.
That's strange, isn't it?
Everyone's in tuxedos. Everyone's got like 500 mil in the bank. Just 300 people watching it. But a big fight for him.
Yeah. I mean, it catch the eye at an event like that, isn't it?
So what are you watching Eddie Hearn talk about? Because he's over there, isn't he? Don't mind Edward.
Edward, yeah, he's all right. I quite like him. What do you make of Ngannou and Fury then?
Oh my God.
Stinky.
just what I've always been confirmed with boxing's Ben.
Do you think he won you, Ngannou?
Yeah.
Do you think I'm kind of interested, like, because I obviously was listening to the boys on the boxing pods talk about it on Sunday. Do you think Fury's? Do you think it was just he didn't train for it and he just didn't take it seriously and he got caught?
Yeah.
Or do you think it's like the start of a bit of a decline?
No, I don't. I think it's the start of the decline. No,
You just think he just didn't?
Just pummeled everyone he's been through for the last 2 or 3 years. And then suddenly, because he has an off day. We've seen this before.
He was poor, mate.
First 2 when he come back, he was poor. Then fucking puts out Deontay Wilder twice.
Yeah, true. I mean, that's fair. That's a fair observation. But it is a few years on, isn't it? And I mean, I don't know. Like,
he's 37, not been out for 2 years, and comes out and performs like that. You can have about an off night.
Do you still think he'd be?
Especially when you've overlooked the person, thinking I'm going to box this guy's head off, and then you get in there and he's just poised and just waiting for you, and he's going, "Whoa, what's going on here?" And you've got to attack him, and he's just landing bombs on you.
Oh, mate, but like Ngannou is just like a statue, isn't he? He's so big, and he's just so chiseled.
I'll if I can quote Tyson Fury, his head is like a plant pot. How can I miss his head? It's like a plant pot.
Sitting there. You still think that? Do you still think Fury beats Usyk?
Yes.
Doesn't look like it's happening before Christmas now, unfortunately.
No, it won't do, will it? My guess it'll be around February, March time.
Yeah, I think March.
Good Christmas, and then back at it.
Yeah, bang into it, like should be good.
So January, February, March, 12 weeks, 11 weeks, bosh.
Can't fault it. Yeah, I'd be interested by it. I think. Do you think his performance hurts?
I think this is a whole it's a whole script. This is how he wants to play it.
Okay.
Because he was never losing that fight. Let's have it right.
Yeah. Yeah, they were never going to allow him to lose, were they?
Exactly. So
I just think like he just looked so bad. Like not even about the knockdown and stuff like that.
Timing was off. You know what it reminded me of? His brother against KSI. That's what it was like.
Yeah.
He was just totally off. Kept on diving in, then he's hugging him. Mate, you're stupid. You're hugging him. You're grappling with a wrestler there. Are you mad? A UFC fighter. You're daft. I know you're big, but you're not that bigger than him.
Yeah.
You're still like, 3 or 4 pounds heavier than him. That's all you are. Yeah, you might be taller than him, but he's a big old lump. So you can't start wrestling with a UFC fighter. Just box him. And you couldn't even do that.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it was certainly interesting to watch. I said I wasn't going to watch it, and then I couldn't help myself.
It's like Eubank Ben is nearly done as well.
Yeah, that'll be good.
Yeah,
I look forward to that.
Might be Cardiff as well, you know.
Will it?
Might be. We're looking at Cardiff or Tottenham Stadium.
Okay.
Either one of them two. Listen to Edward today.
He knows what he would know, mate, wouldn't he? He would know.
He's in the know.
All right, as always, mate, an absolute pleasure. Nice one to everyone for dropping comments and questions and the rest of it. We will be we'll be back next week. And if you are, if you come in tomorrow night to see myself and Andy Campbell, then I look forward to seeing you, and we'll have a good old chat.
And I'll bid you a fond farewell.
Indeed.
Boom.
Traditional.